Professor Schippers, may I ask you some questions?
Yes, of course. What do you want to know, Rico? What is gaslighting? Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who wanted to inherit, or he would inherit his wife's wealth when she died, or would become mentally ill and had to go to a mental hospital. So he thought, well, it can be a while before she dies, so he tried to make her crazy. What he did was, how do you make somebody crazy? That was a good question. So what he did was and that's where the term gaslight comes from, because it was in 1944, and he could put the gaslight on or off or a little bit wavering. So whenever no one was around, the gaslight would waver. And the lady thought, oh my God, what's going on? And then she asked her husband, and he said, well, I don't know what you're talking about. And then they changed where the paintings were. So there was, of course, a white spot where the painting were, but they really did something to conceal that. And then she said, hey, that painting was there the other day. And everybody in the household was in the complot. So they said, well, I think you're getting crazy, because no, it was always there. What is wrong with you? And she started to doubt herself. And then after a while, I don't know how much time passed, but she became mentally ill, became crazy, and had to go to a mental hospital. And this is what happened.
Is that a true story, Michaela?
I'm not sure if it's a true story, but it's a film from 1944, and it's called The Gaslight. So it's with Ingrid Bergman, and it's a really nice story. But the thing is, what I'm interested, I'm Michaela Schippers, Professor of Behavior and Performance Management. But what I'm talking about is behavior change. And you can change the behavior, manipulate behavior, or you can change the behavior for good. Like influence behavior, okay, what is it what you want? What is your ideal life? And that's what I've been working at for the last 20 years, I think, 22 years that I've been in academia. I really want people to be their best possible self. But on the other hand, some people think, hey, I want to manipulate you because I want to control you, or I want to get something, or get your money, in this instance very literally, but get something out of the relationship that the other doesn't want. So for instance, if you want to control your partner, you just say, hey, I think, and you have an argument, you say, hey, I think you're getting crazy because the way you view things is not good, and you should really doubt yourself. And so people start doubting themselves in a gaslighting relationship. And there's always two parties in a gaslighting relationship. So one who is doing the gaslighting, saying, hey, for instance, you find out, or you say, hey, the milk is out again. Did you drink all the milk? And you think, I didn't drink any milk. And then this partner says, yeah, I'm sure you did. And then you think, I don't want to have this hassle. So you say, okay, so maybe I did. And then you go to the fridge and you see the milk is still there. So this is, people tend to think that there's something wrong with them. And being in such a relationship, they sometimes think, oh, maybe I also got from a dysfunctional family, so I don't know what is normal, and maybe I'm the one who's not doing well.
So we're doing this talk for Follow the Science, on which you want to talk to people who use their specialty in a positive way.
Yes.
Much like yourself.
Yes.
As a professor in behavioral science.
Yes.
Why are we talking about gaslighting, which is a negative?
I think it's good that people know the difference, because in a positive way you can say, if it feels really good, I want to go down this road, and you feel happy about it, then it's good. But people are manipulated all the time, or manipulate each other. Like in the old days, maybe very old days, you just hit the other one and that's very clear, and then you succumb to violence. But in our society we say, hey, we don't use obvious or open violence all the time, and there's laws and rules. But it's really hard to make laws and rules against gaslighting, because it's really hard to prove, and we see it in all layers. So it's not only in relationships and one-on-one relationships, but you can see it on the work floor, you can see it in politics, you can see it on all levels of society.
How does one recognize it and how would you defend against it? Because this lady in this Ingrid Bergman movie,
Yes.
she lost it.
Yes, that's a good question. She lost it because everybody said that she was the one who was crazy. And actually, I sometimes also have thought, okay, what's going on in the world? Because my worldview is that people should do something voluntary, and there's human rights, but sometimes there is a story that human rights are not more important than health, for instance. But then if you go, look in your own heart, you think, is this correct? Is this really? Everybody is saying it, but still, I feel it's not that way. So really independent thinking is important. And I don't know how this lady could have coped with it with no support at all. But usually you're not the only one in the world having a little bit different worldview. So you can ask other people, what do you think? So for instance, you can call a friend or a good friend and say, hey, this is how I view it, what do you think? And even if this person disagrees with you, maybe you can even write down why you think this way and how it feels.
So when this is taking place, be it in a relationship or on the workplace or on a larger scale in society, and you recognize it for what it is, then what?
Then what? Then I think you should stick to your own feelings. So, for instance, in this film, this lady could have said, come on, I'm pretty sure that this is what's going on, and not let others drive you crazy. So sometimes I make a decision and everybody says, you're crazy if you do that. And then I think, why would I be crazy? So I write down the pros and cons of that decision. And then I think it's still my own decision to make. Even if everybody else says something else, it's my decision to make.
Follow your heart.
Follow your heart, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say with a lot of words.